What's up, Gooners? Welcome back to AFC Daily News. Today we've got 4 massive Arsenal stories to bring you, with the latest news and updates coming straight from the Emirates. So if you're a passionate Arsenal supporter, you definitely won't want to miss this. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into it. Right, Gooners, I want you to listen very carefully to this one, because this might actually be the most intelligent transfer story of Arsenal's entire summer window, and the reason why is something that I think most people have not fully appreciated yet. According to Sport, Arsenal are monitoring Jules Koundé of Barcelona, and Arteta personally admires the Frenchman's versatility. Barcelona are open to selling. They need to raise funds to strengthen their own squad after the summer's spending. PSG and Bayern Munich are also interested, and Arsenal are ready to accelerate their interest the moment Kounde opens the door to a move. Now here is why this is so fascinating for us as Gooners, and I mean genuinely fascinating, not just transfer window excitement. Kounde solves 2 separate problems in one signing. 1 player, 2 solutions. Problem 1 is obvious. Saliba is out for months, and Arsenal desperately need a right-sided centre-back who can step in immediately and play at the highest level without any adaptation period. Kounde is a World Cup winner, a Champions League winner. He has played at the absolute elite level of European football consistently for years. He knows what it takes to perform in the biggest moments and the biggest games. He is not a project. He is not a gamble. He is ready right now. Problem 2 is the right-back situation. Kounde joined Barcelona as a centre-back and then reinvented himself as one of the most reliable right-backs in La Liga over the last 2 seasons. He averaged 1.6 tackles, 1 interception and 1.8 clearances per league game, but also averaged 59 accurate passes per game, the 4th highest figure among all Barcelona players. That is a right-back who can defend and build. That is exactly the profile Arteta has always prioritised in wide defensive positions. And here is the thing about Kounde that I think gets overlooked because of his height. He does not have the imposing physical presence you associate with a modern centre-back. But his recovery pace, his positioning, his timing of tackles, and his reading of the game make him significantly more effective than his physical measurements suggest. Arteta coaches defenders to be intelligent rather than simply imposing, and Kounde is one of the most intelligent defenders in European football. At 27 years old, available from a Barcelona side that needs to sell, with PSG and Bayern providing competition that will force the situation to move quickly, and this is the kind of signing that Berta needs to pursue with real urgency. 1 player, 2 positions covered, elite pedigree, available now, get it done! So Gooners, would Kounde solve your centre-back concerns this summer, or do you still think Arsenal need a more traditional commanding centre-back to cover for Saliba? Drop your honest take in the comments right now. Okay, Gooners, I know what you are thinking. Yildiz again? Did we not already go through this? Did Juventus CEO Damian Comolli not go on record and say Arsenal's interest was a dream, not reality? Yes, all of that happened. But hear me out, because according to COYG, Arsenal are exploring a move for Kenan Yildiz this month, and the situation has shifted in ways that make this worth taking seriously. Cast your mind back to earlier this summer. Comolli made his famous statement, "Yildiz is untouchable. Juventus would reject 100 million euros. This belongs under the heading of Arsenal's dreams, not reality." And at that point, everything pointed to the door being firmly and permanently closed. But here is what has changed. Juventus had a painful season that ended with real disappointment. The club is rebuilding and reshaping its project. And crucially, the window dynamics have shifted. Arsenal are running out of time to find their left-wing option, and their options have narrowed significantly after missing Vinicius, Rodgers, and with Barcola potentially heading to Liverpool. When your primary targets disappear and the window is entering its final weeks, clubs that were previously immovable sometimes start to think about what a specific number on a piece of paper might actually mean for their own transfer plans. The profile has always been right for Arsenal. There was never any dispute about that. 10 goals and 6 assists in 36 Serie A appearances last season. A left winger who cuts inside, creates in the half space, generates shots, wins fouls in dangerous areas. 21 years old with a ceiling that is still expanding. Versatile enough to play as a 10 or as a striker when needed. Everything Arteta wants in an attacking player. The concern that remains is the Premier League adaptation question. Yildiz has never played in England, and the physicality, the intensity and the pace of the game represent a genuine step up from Serie A that not every talented player navigates smoothly. That is a real risk, and it cannot be dismissed simply because he is exciting to watch. But at 21, with Arteta's coaching in an environment where he would have experienced players alongside him, the conditions for a successful adaptation are as good as they get anywhere in world football. If Juventus have softened even slightly, and the fact that this report exists at all suggests they might have, Berta needs to test that softening immediately. The window closes September the 1st. There is no time for a prolonged second dance around this particular player. Make the call, find the number, and see if the door is actually open this time. So Gooners, do you want Arsenal to make a genuine push for Yildiz in the final weeks, or has that ship sailed and the energy should go entirely elsewhere? Let me know everything in the comments. Gooners, I am going to be completely honest with you about how I feel about this story before I even tell you what happened. When the rumours started circulating about Lewis-Skelly being offered to Chelsea and Manchester United, I felt a genuine wave of anxiety that I suspect every single one of you shared, because this kid is not just a talented footballer, he is one of us. He came through Hale End, he started a Champions League final at 19, he is the embodiment of everything that makes Arsenal special. So when The Athletic reported that Lewis-Skelly wants to stay at Arsenal and is fully focused on establishing himself in Arteta's first-team plans for the upcoming season, I want you to understand that this is not just good transfer news. This is genuinely heartwarming news about a young man who loves his club. And in his own words from when he signed his new contract last summer, Lewis-Skelly could not have been clearer about how he feels. I'm so proud and happy. I'm a fan and it's like a dream come true. I want a legacy. I want to win everything there is to win in the game. I want to win trophies on the biggest stages whilst being a person that's always learning and stays grounded. That is not the language of a player looking for an exit. That is not someone whose head has been turned by inquiries from Chelsea or United. That is a 19-year-old who understands exactly where he is, exactly what he is building toward, and exactly why leaving would be the wrong decision at this specific moment in his career. The timing is also important here. Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi have only just started pre-season after their extended post-World Cup breaks. That means Lewis-Skelly has had weeks of first-team training with the squad, weeks of working directly under Arteta, weeks of establishing himself as someone who belongs in that environment, as a permanent fixture rather than a temporary one. Every session is building the case for why he starts when the season begins. And based on everything he showed in the run-in last season and in Budapest, he belongs. Chelsea made inquiries. United were offered the chance. Both can look elsewhere. Myles Lewis-Skelly is an Arsenal player. He wants to be an Arsenal player, and that is exactly how this story should end. So, Gooners, how much does it mean to you personally to hear that Lewis-Skelly wants to stay and build his legacy at Arsenal? Drop your love for this kid in the comments right now. Let him know how the fan base feels. Now, Gooners, let us finish with a story that might not generate the same headlines as Kounde or Yildiz, but one that tells you something very important about the long-term vision Berta is executing simultaneously alongside all the big money pursuits. According to The Athletic, Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign 16-year-old MYLO Bernard from Crystal Palace, following the expiry of his schoolboy registration with the South London club. Bernard is an England youth international forward who made the step up from Palace's under-16s to their under-18s last season and immediately made an impact that forced people to pay attention. His debut for Palace's under-18s against Leicester, he scored after 4 minutes. His performance against Reading in March, he scored a hat-trick and did it after coming from behind, showing exactly the kind of mentality that elite clubs look for in their youngest prospects. He has been in England's under-16 setup, going to camps in Turkey and Florida, competing against Argentina, Mexico and the United States. For a 16-year-old, that is a remarkable volume of high-level experience. Arsenal had been pushing to sign Bernard since at least July, with Palace offering improved terms to try and keep him at Selhurst Park. The fact that Bernard chose Arsenal anyway, choosing a club whose commitment to developing young talent is visible and proven in the players walking around the first-team training ground every day, tells you something about how the Hale End story is becoming a genuine recruitment advantage. Bernard joins a pipeline that now includes Donchev, Ojianvuna, the Quintero twins, and the ongoing Mbemba pursuit. Every single one of these signings represents Berta thinking 5 to 7 years ahead, while simultaneously pursuing Guimaraes, Alvarez, and Kounde in the present. That dual-track approach, elite additions now, elite pipeline for the future, is what genuinely sustainable success at the highest level looks like. Crystal Palace have lost a talented young player, Arsenal's academy has gained another exciting prospect, and Berta's vision for the club extends further than any single transfer window. So Gunners Kazovtwesi, does the consistency of Arsenal's youth recruitment strategy excite you for the long-term future of this club? And do you think Milo Bernard has the potential to eventually break into the first team? Drop your thoughts in the comments. So Gooners, that's all the Arsenal news for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and hit the subscribe button right now if you haven't already. Kounde being monitored, Yildiz potentially back on the radar, Lewis-Skelly stay confirmed, and another academy gem arriving from Palace. This transfer window still has plenty more to offer, and you definitely don't want to miss a single update. So hit that subscribe button right now. It's completely free. Until next time, Gooners. Come on, you Gunners!